There has been a lot of Fighting EX layer costumes that have been coming into Street Fighter. We've seen previously that Ryu, he had a costume for Kairi, if I'm pronouncing that right. And now we just saw Karen, she got a costume for Hakuto. I'm probably slaughtering these names, forgive me. There has been, a lot of rumors, well, a lot of speculation, let me not say rumors, that there's going to be a Fighting EX layer character that's going to be, that last spot, that unknown spot that we have for the last character that's coming in this new season of Street Fighter V. If there was a Fighting EX layer character to come in Street Fighter, who would y'all want to see?
I mean, let's be honest, man. Like, the moment they said Fighting EX layer, that's who I thought of immediately. I'm like, Skullomania. Put Skullomania in Street Fighter V, man.
Wrong.
What? What'd you say?
I said you thought wrong.
No, this guy. Put Skullomania in Street Fighter V, man. The fact that they're even considering doing that, I think is really cool. I mean, you got there's so many really cool characters that if any of you ever played like Street Fighter EX, like the Street Fighter EX series, they had a few very interesting characters like Dark Doctrine, V Rosso, who would also be a really great addition to Street Fighter V. V Rosso, Hokuto, of course. They have Ara, that one chick with the giant robot hand. There's just so many cool characters that you could put from Fighting EX layer into Street Fighter V. So I'm kind of glad that they decided. I'm not saying that they did, but if they did put Skullomania in there, I'd be super hyped, man. That would keep me playing the game for a while. Actually, that would keep me playing Street Fighter V for the foreseeable future. Mostly because Fighting EX layer didn't really take off that well, and there's not a whole lot of people playing it. At least as far as I've seen, there's not a whole lot of people playing it, and the player base for Street Fighter V is a lot bigger, I think, than Fighting EX layer. So to have some of forget just putting Skullomania, just take the whole roster and just put them in Street Fighter V. So, we just have like this gigantic roster of characters in Street Fighter V from Street Fighter and Fighting EX layer. Matter of fact, you just extend Street Fighter V for another couple years and then make this version of Street Fighter V Street Fighter EX5. How about that? Like, just do it that way. And just, add all these characters, then just put everybody, Dark Doctrine, Skullomania, all of them in, Cracker Jack, put him in there too. Just put all of them in Street Fighter V, regardless of who it is. Although I think it's going to be Skullomania. I'm going to enjoy it. I think it's going to be cool.
I always thought that Street Fighter EX was like a cool looking game, and at the time I never realized it was kind of developed by had some extra development from Akira or Rika, rather, not Akira but Rika. And it always had this cool feel to it. It had the custom combo thing, the meteor gate supers or whatever. It looked very interesting. I think if there was a poster board for the Street Fighter EX games of those characters, the Rika characters, it's probably Skullomania. Honestly, when I hear Street Fighter EX, Skullomania is usually the character that comes right to my head. Skullomania, even the Ryu dude, what is his name? I'm not really familiar with those characters, but he's like the Ryu character, but Skullomania has more of a presence in that game. So I do think it would probably be Skullomania. I would like for it to be Dark Doctrine. He's probably, to me, the coolest character that I like out of those Rika characters. He kind of feels like a Rika's version of Vega. He's real weird, off-putting, got a mask, I just feel like he's kind of Vega on rollerblades. I think that whole concept was cool. He kind of looks like a Resident Evil character, kind of like a Leon-ish vibe, like a weird Leon vibe. So I would prefer to see Dark Doctrine in the game. Cracker Jack would be cool, even though he was basically Balrog with a bat.
Yeah.
I would like to see him come back with the giant, his fist doing the whole Mario thing, punches and they get giant. Yo, we need that in Street Fighter V. I would like just to see that in current gen visuals. It's first of all, why are you holding the bat if you're just gonna punch somebody? You got fists like that. What do you need the bat for? I'm more afraid of your hands than the bat. I don't know, but I think Crackerjack would definitely be cool. Honestly, hearing you talk about expanding Street Fighter V, Evan, in the way you just did about adding all those characters and just making the Street Fighter V EX, that would kind of be dope. And maybe adding like some of the system mechanics from EX. But this is what I actually want. I want like a Capcom Fighting All-Star game. We had one game that was technically that, which is Capcom Fighting Evolution, which kind of failed, ultimately failed. And there was a game that never came out. If y'all remember back on Dreamcast, it was called Capcom Fighting All-Stars. It never came out. Had some new characters in there, Hagar, Ingrid, Ryu, Nash, never came to light. So I would personally, honestly, I don't know if they have any extra fighting games Capcom has in development. But aside from Street Fighter 6, because I think it's time for Street Fighter 5 to just kind of go ahead and die down. Have a Capcom Fighting All-Stars, rival schools. Yeah, you can't really do the Rika characters because they're not technically Capcom properties. But if they could somehow work something out, put the EX characters in there, some Dog Stalker. That's technically literally what I want. But and if I had my way, I would just put all those other characters in Street Fighter 5 right now. Put some EX in there. We got a rival schools character coming. And just put some more EX characters in there. Make some original characters. But personally, I do think this Skullomania is going to be the character that comes. But I would personally like to see Doc Doctrine in Street Fighter 5.
Well, one would just start as far as Skullomania, like keep him as far away from Street Fighter 5 as possible.
What a hater, dude!
You know, dude is basically just like, you know, annoying as all get out. You know, he'd be bouncing all over the wall, flying everywhere, doing all types of crazy stuff, and it's just like, bro, sit down somewhere, man. Like this Street Fighter, bro.
Are you kidding?
Like, what are you doing? So, you know, we wouldn't want to see him at all. That's just a, you know, a waste of a space. You know, so I personally like, I'd personally like to see like Shiraz, or forgive me if I'm slaughtering these names, but Shiraz or Pullum, those are like my two favorite characters in Fighting EX Layer. You know, great, amazing characters. They're not Skullomania, so I mean, how could you go wrong? You know, so as far as like making a Street Fighter 5,
nah, man. No, we need somebody who's got some pep in their step, who's willing to take be like super hype about it, man. Like he's like a superhero, bro. You seen that running animation? Have you seen his running animation?
I mean, just play Fighting EX Layer if you wanted it. Just don't need to be a Street Fighter.
Nobody's gonna play that game right now. Just